Is it working now? Because I'm having a glitch over here. I'm not using my usual program. I decided to go straight into the tube, and I can't tell if it's now working or what a pain in the butt. Great way to start a live, by the way. Oh, geez. Well, I was waiting to see if there was any more jumping on with us, and apparently now the air conditioning is going to kick on. Sorry, I'm trying to get something here. Good deal. So, how you two doing? I said I was going to wait for a couple more people, but I don't think it's during the day. A lot of people are still at work, but I just wanted to jump on and hang out for a little bit and talk to you guys about some of the stuff that just came in. But yeah, how you guys doing? By the way, I posted the links on Discord too, but never got a reply back. Not a lot of people are checking out the Discord now right now. Need to kind of work on that again. Here, Matt, there's a lot of people, or they still are at work, so that's what's going on. But sorry, I'm stalling for a reason. I'm trying to get this all straightened out here. Stop glitching out. Come on. There we go. Uh, so anyhow, like the title entails, I got a couple artifacts actually from the American Revolution, and I'm super excited about that. I really am, because that's one thing that I've always wanted, and that's something that I've never had in my collection. Not before the disaster, and not just now. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Primarily, it's for me, it's World War I, World War II, Korea. That's where I do most of my studies at. But it's the American Revolution, and of course, you got the Civil War and everything else. I'm working on getting things from there too. But I was really, really excited to find a couple items and able to work it out to where I could actually get them, and I'm super excited about them. I know I'm a strange person. I get excited over history relics, but that's why you guys are here too. Aside from the fact that you like watching me have a meltdown once a week. Speaking of that, before I even get started with anything at all, uh, I don't know if the show is going to be going on tomorrow at all, because we have a local ordinance meeting that we got to get to, and I'm definitely not going to miss this one. I hate the fact that they're always somehow land on a Thursday, but uh, I got to go to it. It's not something that I can skip over. Okay, but I'm still gonna try, and I mean, if I have to, I might start live there and then make it here and then turn the live back to here or something. But we'll try. I'll still try to do the show, but I got to get to this meeting as well. Well, We'll wait about just another couple minutes, and then we'll get started. Won't wait forever. So talk to me. Well, I know. Yes, history is definitely important. It's one of the it's one of the most important things. You learn a lot about what could be and how to stop it by looking at how what happened, back in the day. But not a lot of people want to learn that. They don't care about the past. They say, "Why I wasn't there, so why do I, need to worry about it?" Well, there's a lot of reasons why you should. Let's see. It's not strange. Well, sometimes I think it is, though. It's not an obsession. It's definitely a passion, but it's not obsession. Some people seem to label it as that. But you know what? Let's stall just a little bit longer. How about this? Let's talk about what history means to you. Okay. Like I want to hear from you guys. What does history mean to you? And I'm waiting for the chat to progress because that pain in the ass little heart is there on the corner, Matt, and I can only read part of your comment. But yeah, Ian. I mean, like I said, what does history mean to you? I mean, is it important to you? What makes it important to you? Same thing with you, Matt. Oh, there it finally cycled through, so I can read it. I still have to send you that RAF badge and some UK sweets and stuff to eat. Fantastic. Just none of the meatballs. Okay, we already talked about this. No, sir. History is about learning from the past and respecting what went before yourself. Exactly. And each one of you, regardless of what anybody says, from the most introverted, quiet person out there to the loudest one you can think of, uh, you leave a mark on history. Okay, you do, and it's obviously it's up to you what kind of mark you leave on history, but you do leave a mark. You did still exist. You know, I think I can read Ian's without that little heart in the way. If you don't learn from history, you are destined to repeat the mistakes of the past. Absolutely. And I know there's a lot of people that are, even historians that'll argue about that. That's not, you're absolutely correct. Because what has been can possibly happen again if you're not careful. And we're seeing it repeat in real time across the world. I'm not going to get into, politics right now or anything else like that when it comes to modern times. But we've already mentioned and talked about this on the show where, what's going on in Matt's area, and of course yours too, Ian. Just Just crazy things. I don't know why they're messaging me right now. I already told them I was going to be on here. But without getting into that, obviously you two are not in the continental United States. so so like I said, the artifacts that I have are from the American Revolution. Uh, so both of you guys should know a little bit about this, at least your version of it, because you were on the other side of it. uh, but I'm sure you know how kind of roughly how it started, and then obviously how it ended. I mean, it's arguably to me, the Revolutionary War. Everybody thinks it started with the Boston Tea Party and stuff. I disagree. I think it started a little bit further back than as far, probably in the 1760s. I think it started, or at least was getting the buildup from um, the Townsend Acts and stuff like that. I'm wanting to say, you know what? Let me think about that. Give me a minute, because the Townsend Acts was, yeah. I'll back up a little bit more. Let's go back all the way like to. I'm sorry, my timeline is a little bit muddy here. 1753, somewhere around in there. Um, that was when the French and Indian War happened. Of course, to replenish the money that the crown had spent on that, they decided they were going to start throwing taxes at the colonies, and the colonies were very, very, very pissed about this. I'm trying to think of which taxes, but Benjamin Franklin actually testified before Parliament and said that this is not a good idea, and that was about the time that the group, the Sons of Liberty, was established, I believe. But what kicked it off, what I think kicked it off, is not just the taxes beforehand, because they said taxation without representation is tyranny. That's what they were, what this kind of started with. But I think it really started with the Boston Massacre, and I think because that was slightly before the Tea Party, but I'm fairly certain it started with that. For me, it's about how people from both sides of conflicts go through and how to overcome it and survive it. Yeah, I can understand that. An awful lot of noise outside today. But yeah, let's go and talk. Okay, now we can. Yeah, now it would be the Townsend Act. Townsend Act happened close to 1770, I think. Like I said, my timeline's a little off. I haven't looked this stuff up or read about it in quite a while because I've been focusing on other areas of study. But I'm trying to remember. But the Townsend Acts, basically, the crown placed a duty on essential goods. Um, Especially tea. And there was a ship, I believe, that was owned. It was owned by one of the founders. I think it was John Hancock. That was actually seized, and they thought that, well, at least the crown thought that he was. Um, what's the word for it? suspicion of smuggling. Yeah. And I mean, it just kept snowballing from there. And then, like I said, in the around the same time period, I think maybe about a year later, uh, in Boston, it was 1770 in Boston, actually, that when that happened. There was a group of people who actually kind of surrounded British soldiers at the custom house, and they were throwing rocks at them and snowballs and whatever else I guess they could pretty much pick up. And without I guess in order to do so, the soldiers actually opened fire, killing several men and wounding several others. And that became the Boston Massacre. And yeah, here we went. The Tea Act was not until that one I do remember, 1773. And that's where things really started to heat up and kick off. And you know what? Just out of curiosity, what have you guys, especially Matt and Ian, what have you guys been taught about the American Revolution and what happened? I'm really curious. I've had a couple books that got destroyed, but a couple books on that side of things, and I never got a chance to actually fully read them before they were ruined. And so we'll talk about it for a little bit, and I'll grab one of the items and show it. I've only got 2 items, so I'm trying to throw a little bit of history in there first. And this is the live version. I'm gonna probably do another video where it's not, not live and not talking to everybody and everything. Okay, because of that stupid heart. That heart covers up a word. When I was at school, nothing about U.S. history. So you weren't taught about the American Revolution, and I mean, how the colonies got a little rowdy one day and gave the British a thumping. Man says my knowledge is pretty low, to be honest. It's a bit too old history for me. I'm more World War One, World War Two. However, this was a fallout leading to a war. Right. No, I was just curious, like in your schools, what did they tell you guys about this? Because this was definitely a big thing, even in British history. So I was just curious. I didn't know if you guys were taught a lot about it, or if it was, kind of, I don't know, changed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And come on, Matt. I mean, I go all the way back to Roman. Okay, I love learning about ancient Rome because I believe the basis of a lot of things that the Romans did are the basis of how we run society today. They were technically the first really modern society. So that tells you how far back I try to study. But I'm with you though. My primary is World War One, World War Two. Some gloves already. I don't want to touch the stuff, barehanded. Yeah, that was just a curiosity. I always wondered about that. Like I said, I had a couple books that were that did pertain to that, but I never even got a chance to really read them. Dinosaur, Roman Empire, Caveman, Iron Age, British industry, First World War, very little on World War II. Really? Ian, you were on Lost Battlefields. That's World War II. Wow. I did not know that. That's crazy. Uh yeah, I the Roman Empire was definitely one of my things because I mean, like I said, it's the basis of modern society today. Is there's too many correlations between it and now, and what's terrifying is again history repeating itself. The bad stuff that happened then is kind of starting to go that direction now. But we could sit here and talk about the third Servile War and the Emperor Hadrian, the founding rulers of Rome, Julius Caesar, stuff like that. The writings of Plutarch and several others. but this is Revolutionary War, so maybe for another time, Ian, we'll get into that. And by the way, my favorite when it comes to the emperors and stuff like that is Marcus Aurelius. All right. Well, I guess let's get started because we got we can go on a little bit longer about everything else, but sorry, I don't want to touch the stuff barehanded. At least I try not to. You also generally try not to tear your damn glove. That worked out well. Schooling in England is very different now compared to 40 years ago. Yeah, I can get that. It's the same here. Um, they leave a lot of things in history out, and they definitely well, they're wanting to push that revisionist history stuff, and that's not how it works. All right, my brain itches. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is, I I like the personal items. I really do. They show the human side of war. They show the human side of history. So a lot of the stuff that I have, be it, personal items like the helmets behind us, and and medals and stuff like that. And I really enjoy stuff like that. I mean, artillery shells and everything else like that are awesome. I love collecting them. I absolutely love them. But I want the pieces that show, like I said, the human side of things, as opposed to whom it may concern, if you know what I mean. But the first piece is actually it's something simple, something small. It's this. It's just a cup. And by the way, what cracked me up is I was asked if this was made of plastic. I had to explain that They didn't have plastic in the Revolutionary War. But I'll tell you about this in just a second here. If you learn, yes, Matt, it is in fact horn. It is bullhorn. If you want to learn basic history of the world, you have to stay on in school or go to college. I'm self-taught, and I'm a walking encyclopedia most days. The only thing you do when you go to school anymore is you get a piece of paper saying yes, I was there. That's pretty much it. A lot of the stuff even that you learn there is just a kind of a brief brief piece of it. But yes, this was made out of bullhorn and everything. It is a cup, and it is from the Revolutionary War. But this particular cup could have been used. It's most likely, according to a lot of research I'd done on the object itself, and I had it authenticated not once, not twice, but three times because I'm very thorough and stuff about, especially about certain items, because especially its age, you really want to know. But this particular cup, this style of cup, could have been used in Toon Tavern in Philadelphia, the birthplace of the United States Marine Corps. But this one here came from a collection, and the guy had he passed away. That's the reason why the collection went up for sale. But he had been collecting since the 1930s, and this came from another collection from one of his family members. And this particular cup is believed to be carried by one of our by the American regulars. So this could be even from, who's to say that George Washington, one of his soldiers carried this in their gear. That's what it could have been. We don't, obviously we're never going to know that. There's very little markings on it. Some guys did, carve into them and stuff like that. This one doesn't have enough markings on it to make a determination, but we know it for a fact that it is not only authentic, but it is from a soldier. I'll see if I can get it, a little bit closer on camera for you. But I said, this item's a personal, to me, is a personal item. So it's amazing to have in my collection, not only because of its age, but because of what it represents and the human side of things. I mean, can you just imagine being in, like I said, this was normal back then. So you could imagine, the guys sitting there getting, pissed out of their brains there in Toon Tavern, and some guy walks in and says, let's start a military, and you're like, yeah, cool, let's go, do that. You can imagine one of them sitting there drinking out of one of these, or one of the guys sitting on the battlefield enjoying his breakfast tea that we just started a war over. I'm sorry, I can't. I had to throw that in there. Yeah, Matt. What cracks me up though is, as I was asked that though, I was asked, well, is that made of plastic? And I was like, no, they didn't have plastic back then. They didn't have Bakelite back then. It wasn't invented yet. It's like, nope, what you're holding is a piece of bullhorn. And they're like, I'm holding a horn from a bull. They had to kill a bull for this. I'm like, yeah, they didn't necessarily have to kill it, but yes, that's what it's made from. Yeah, the closer you get to it, Matt, the more you can see it, that you can tell what it is. But I do. I often think about that when that first came into my possession. That was one of the first things I thought of. Was like, I know, because of the other collectors, the other collector that had stuff like that, um, where it came from, and where it could have been, came, where it could have been. You know what I mean? Uh, but I was really thrilled to be like, there's a very big possibility this could have been. I mean, it could have been from George Washington's army. It could have been from Toon Tavern, Philadelphia. It could have, been any number of things, and it sparked my interest, and I love having it in my collection. And I still need to make a case for it and stuff because a lot of my stuff goes in cases. That it does. Yeah, it definitely has a kind of a transparent style quality to it. Yes, like I said, I'm actually excited to show that to you guys. I think that's awesome. I got one more piece up here, which the more research I did on this other piece, the more interesting it became. And I was absolutely beside myself when I got to get my hands on it. Yeah, one of these days, what I need to do is I need to almost publish the list of stuff that I had lost, so that way you guys can, because you guys, being in Europe, it would help, for me to show you like, hey, this is what I had. Maybe you can help me find it for a decent price, and I can get it, get a replacement, get it brought here and put in the collection. But I also have a list of things that I've never had that I desperately want. So I'm just letting you know. One of them being an authentic German World War One pickle held. I didn't have one of those. I mean, I did, but I didn't. But that's for another story, another time. Thanks, Ian. I think it's pretty awesome. The next piece is a little bit heavier and a little bit different, but just cool as shit. It already has its own display case, but I'm going to take it out of the display case just so I can show it to you. There you are. Lots of cash for them. Yeah, I know, I know, I know. People have gone insane. Well, I've got a World War One helmet. It's sitting right behind me. I don't have the pickle held. I want an original pickle held. I don't do reproductions. I mean, the only thing I've got reproduction here is I got a reproduction because obviously I wouldn't want to display it because it wouldn't be in that great of shape to begin with. I don't want it to get ruined. But there's a late World War II K ration uh, over here on my desk, and a German potato masher. Obviously, that's not real. Although I have found a couple real ones that were decommissioned. But let's very carefully bring this over here. Okay, so obviously there was a lot of well, they didn't have they didn't have a lot of roads or anything else like that. So the waters, the tributaries, stuff like that were very, very important in the Revolutionary War. Uh, and one of them being, of course, Lake Champlain, New York. And there was a battle there, which was right off of Valcour Island, which was picked by a very specific commander, because they knew that the American Navy at the time could not take on the British, or at least not directly. So they had to find a way possible to, facilitate this battle and have a chance of even possibly winning it all. And it's crazy who was running that particular operation, and I'll talk about that in a second. There's tons of stuff around. Sadly, the market is flooded with repo gear, so the genuine stuff has a big price tag. Yeah, I get that, but it's actually easier for you guys because the war actually happened there. For us, it's a little bit more difficult. Anything World War I, World War II is kind of difficult to get. I'll do my best, but I just don't, like you said, the big price tag. Reproduction stuff. If I got reproduction stuff, it wouldn't be in the museum because it's not real. I want the real stuff in the museum. I mean, I might collect some reproduction for myself or something, but that's about it. Or the reproduction stuff where I can take it out and actually wear it and show it, and everything else like that. And even then, I would still kind of want to, have the real deal. But like I was saying, Lake Champlain, New York, there was a naval battle there because they wanted to stop the British from getting down to Fort Ticonderoga, and there, you're not. I couldn't believe when I learned about this back in the day. I couldn't believe that particular guy actually happened to be running the operation, but it was Benedict Arnold. For us, that's a big name because that was America's first trader in our eyes. But he chose the area because of its terrain, like the rockiness, and the narrowness of the waterway and stuff like that. And he said, if we're going to have a chance to fight, we're going to do it right here. And a battle did ensue, but the Americans did not have anything to answer to the British ships. And this particular item, it does come from that. It was largely said, and it's even written on the item itself, that this was a British shipwreck. But the problem is the only British shipwreck that I can remember that was there, and this is after I did a whole bunch of research on this thing. It was a British sloop named the Boscawen, or Boscawen, whatever. I can't pronounce it. But that was a 12 gun. I think is what the sloops were, but it was the only one that sustained any sort of damage, major damage, and everything. And I mean, there was a couple gunboats and stuff like that, but it's more likely that this particular item came from one of the American ships that Benedict Arnold had commanded. So I'm wanting to say, that that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with it's probably not from the British ship. It's more than likely from one of the American ones, because the Americans had to beach a bunch of them. They had to set them on fire. A lot of them were damaged. They didn't have much. So that's what I'm going to go with. But here it is. It's a British 2-pounder. Like I said, it says British shipwreck, Lake Champlain. And what I find honestly is awesome and unique about this is, one, it has not been cleaned, so it does have the sediment still attached to it. And I'm okay with that. I like that idea. I like the history behind it. But what's crazy is if you look at the sides of the ball, especially here on what would be the left side. Trying to get to where you can see what I'm trying to show you here. There we go. You see those lines? Those lines are from the bag that this was in the ship. So it sat in the sediment for this many years. And the bag, of course, eventually rotted away and everything. And it's still there. The bag is still imprinted on the 2-pounder. I find that to be amazing. I don't know why, I just do. Because I was offered actually one that had been cleaned up, and I'm like, I don't want the cleaned up one. Like, I want that one. I'm like, why do you want that one? It's like, because it has more of a story to it. It does. It has more of a story to it, but the fact that it has the imprinting and everything on it is, to me, is just amazing. I'm very thrilled to have this, and there is actually a piece of it. You can barely see it on it. I don't know if you guys can see it, but on the top, you can see where the lining from the bag right there. I mean, I think it's fantastic, but this was one of the most popular uh, shot to be fired during Revolutionary War by both sides. And I said I was just, I was absolutely beside myself when I seen this and knew that I was going to get a chance to get my hands on it, because I've always said I've always wanted something from the Revolutionary War. Now I got two of them, but like I said, I was asked, "Are you going to clean that?" And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's going to stay like this in the case. I want it to stay like this. I think, to me, it's more important. But doing the research on the battle, and little bugger don't like standing up in his case though very well. But doing the research on the battle and everything, and the shipwrecks that are in uh, Lake Champlain, and where this one was particularly was found and everything else like that, it leads me to believe that it was probably on, like I said, on an American ship, but it was not probably on the Boscawen. It was more than likely going to be on one of Benedict Arnold's uh, ships, like maybe the Royal Savage or the Revenge or the Liberty or the Enterprise. One of those. That's more than likely what I think it came from. I am not sold that it came directly from a British one. I mean, just like I said, just because of the order of battle. And I think I gave you guys some wrong information there for a split second. I'm actually looking at something really quick because of what I said, and it was bugging me. I don't think the sloop had it was a 70 footer, but I don't think it was a 12 gun. I'm trying to correct myself here, because I do believe I misspoke, and it didn't have as many cannons on it as I said it did. So give me a second, because I want to make sure I give you the right information. I don't try and mislead you guys, Well, I looked it up before. I'll look it up again. I found some musket balls from English battlefields in the past, but moving around for girlfriends, I've lost them. Oh man, that's terrible. I get it though. Like I said, I've lost quite a few of them. I'm just trying to. No, I was right. 12 guns. Yeah, a sloop, 12 guns. But like I said, it could have been from it could have been from the Congress, the Revenge, the Liberty, whatever else like that, and a couple other small gunboats. That only had like two guns on them. These were very popular for swivel guns, so swivel guns were used quite a bit. You know, so it could have came from one of them. But I am not. I'm gonna say it again. I am not sold that it came from the Boscawen or one of the British ships. I believe it actually came from one of the American ones. I just added a coin from 1741 to my collection. That is awesome. I would like to see that actually, if you wouldn't mind. Ian, I am working on something else, okay? But it's not going to be a musket ball from the Revolutionary War or anything. But don't hold your breath because I'm not holding mine either. But I may be getting at my hands on a bunch of American Civil War fired bullets. I wanted the fired ones, not the fresh ones. Uh, if I do, I'll make you a deal. I'll send you one. But this one you can't lose. You're gonna have to hold on to it, okay? So no angry girlfriends taking your musket ball, your sharps bullet, whatever it might be. Uh, but again, like I said, the guy that was running the fleet at that time and everything, Benedict Arnold, he didn't start out as a butthole. He was actually a fairly good guy, and he was a high ranking military officer. He did quite well in the American Revolutionary War, but then he turned coded. He went in 1780, I believe. He decided he wanted to go back to the British Crown, and he died, I believe, in 1801 in London. But I think it was 1801. Don't quote me on that. But he was actually an effective leader and did a fairly decent job holding the British off at Lake Champlain at that time, and kind of slowed them up. And he had to destroy one of the forts before he destroyed most of his ships, most of his boats, gunboats, whatever else, and really had no choice. And then made it down to Fort Ticonderoga. But he led the British in to yeah. Sorry, it already aggravates me. But he led the British in 1780 and took over a very specific area, and well, that didn't end well for him later on. Uh, it was Richmond, Virginia, where he took that area, kind of wreaked havoc in that area, and well, like I said, America's first trader. But yeah, seriously, man, I'd like to see that. And Ian, I'm serious about my offer if it does happen. Okay, I can't guarantee it's going to happen, but that's my offer. And if you must, Matt, you as well. Can't forget about my buddy Matt there. Oh, Sherman, you missed the whole thing, man. The coin I have is a Spanish piece of 8 dated 1741, salvaged from the Holland. No kidding. Yeah, I'm going to have to see that. I'm definitely going to have to see that. Yeah, you missed the whole thing, Sherman. I already talked about him and everything else, and gave a brief history lesson on him. So you're gonna have to you're gonna have to rewind and come back. But we can continue talking. I mean, I guess I mean, I can show the stuff again, but I won't go through the whole historical part of it. You can just rewatch the video and get that. And I'm probably gonna do, like I said, some separate videos uh, later on these particular items, on all my items actually, probably one at a time. I want to break them down and talk about them. Yes, you missed lots of cool stuff, Sherman. Matt, are you not on the Lost Battlefields Discord? No, it's not too bad for you. You can just turn around. You can just rewatch the whole thing. It's only an hour so far. You can rewatch it. You're good. Don't get too upset. We'll take care of you. Not yet. Well, you need to do that. Or are you on the Book of Faces, the Facebook? If you're on Facebook, I can, we can talk that way too. I don't really use it all that much, but we can talk there. I'm mostly just sharing my memories on there. Yeah, you're gonna have to. How's the daughter? How's the family doing there, bud? So, what stuff do you really want us to look out for? I've got a list. I'm actually going to have to look through. Watching YouTube videos and having good laughs. Um, that's awesome. 1 second here. So, the stuff you do want us to look out for. Like I said, I've got a list. I will, and most of it was stuff that I'd already had. It's just, crap. These gloves don't allow me to open up my phone. Seriously, one. There. Let me see if I can find my list. I mean, at least if I can find it right away. Don't I keep hitting my head on the microphone. Sorry. I'm looking to see if I saved it on my. For crying out loud, if I don't stop headbutting that thing, it's going to drive me nuts. Yeah, I'm going to have to take off these gloves to do this. Hey, Sherman. It was going to be a surprise, but check your mailbox in the next week and a half. Just so you know. Amelia is your new girlfriend. Sweet. Okay, these gloves got to come off. The gloves are off. Like in 1776. But I can't look through my stuff. And find you the list. Sorry, I got a lot of crap on here. I don't know if it's even in here or not. I'm just trying to. You've asked, so I'm trying to find it. I apologize. It's my fault for not being a little bit more organized at this moment. I probably should have sent it to my own email. That's what I should have done. All right, Ian. Here, one glove. I challenge you to a duel. Oh, I found it. Okay, so Ian, this is what I found. This was the list that I had started. It says I wrote down a couple of the items I'm looking to get back. The French World War II helmet with the RF logo on it. The British World War II helmet, World War II Romanian, Japanese Type 90 helmet had the star on it. Medals rack, which consisted of German wound badges, Purple Heart, both World War I and World War II Iron Crosses. Japanese Order of the Rising Sun, 4th class, Japanese battle flag, Japanese 1,000 stitch belt, Japanese Type 99 bayonet, World War II propaganda poster, German, propaganda posters, American, Russian political commissar newspaper, and an Order of Lenin medal. And those are just the ones that I was missing that I'd like to get back. Now, remember, I said I wanted to get my hands on like a World War One pickle held, stuff like that. 10 paces at dawn. All right, you got it, buddy. We'll get some dueling pistols and we'll get this done. Hey, Per, it's good to see you, buddy. You're gonna have to watch the whole show a whole hour over again because you missed everything. So did Sherman too, so don't feel bad. And progress has been made on the Sherman front. That's awesome. But yeah, that like I said, that is the list. That's the stuff that I had that's missing, and I'd like to get back. I had some Korean War stuff in there, but I already know I'm never going to get those back because they were from a specific soldier here in my own hometown, and it's all gone, never to be seen again. Unless, of course, I go walk into somebody's house and they managed to land in their backyard and they kept it. I keep hearing noises outside. Anyhow, let's see here. There was something else I was going to bring up for you guys. But like I said, that's just a list of stuff that I'd lost. There's other things that I want to look for that you guys might be able to help me with. That'd be fantastic. That'd be fantastic. So I can repopulate the museum and get a better selection going. So how is Mr. Per today? How's things in Sweden? Oh, D man, you're late too. You're going to have to rewatch the whole thing, at least not the first like 10, 15 minutes because it was absolutely nothing and boring. But you're going to have to watch the whole thing again. Reading and almost finished Rural Nordling. Oh, nice. I'm so far behind on my reading duties. I'm still reading the German General's Talk. I haven't even touched the book on that you sent me, Sherman. I'm sadly to say that, and I've got a stack of others that I still haven't went through. I am so far behind on my reading. Crap. Sorry, I'm watching a chat. Like I said, I like the personal items and stuff like that. Items carried by soldiers, items found on the battlefield that were particular, to soldiers, especially things that they may have marked their names into and stuff like that, where it was found, because the story is just as important as the object. That's one of my things. Putting peas through the combine, huh? That's fun. So are you. Yeah, understood. But since I already put it in its case, I will pick it up and show it to you. But I'm not going to put the gloves on and open the case back up and everything else like that because I already put it back in its case. But this is one of the items, guys, that I talked about. Exactly, Matt. Yeah, he says the story makes the object have life. Exactly. To me, that's one of the most important things. I mean, it's just a collection's a collection unless you can get a story behind it. And nearly every single piece that I have has a story behind it and where it came from and everything. Uh, and I love that part of it. I really do. And I said D Man and Sherman and Per. When you watch it back, I do get more in depth into the items and the history behind them and everything. Driving equipment, but the peas are pouring out at about good harvest, good deal. Uh, I think our beans are doing fantastic here too, but I mean, at least our agricultural is doing great. It's the local like me, normal people our yields have been terrible this year. Our corn has been absolute crap. Our tomatoes has been an uphill battle just trying to keep them alive and stop the bottom rot and everything. My carrots really didn't get much bigger than where they should have been. Uh, it's just been a rough year all around. The hot peppers though are I thought I had one on the desk still, but I don't. The hot peppers are starting to pick up very well, and that makes me excited because I get to make fun things out of stuff that most people won't even touch. But I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and end it here, so that way you can go back and watch it because I don't want to sit here and drag this out and have a whole bunch of nothing. The first several minutes, first like 10-15 minutes of this feed is a whole bunch of nothing. So sorry. Uh, I use an old phone, hard to type. I am in the process of uploading my second mobile. Right on. But no, like I said, you guys can look me up on Discord on the Lost Battlefields Discord. You can look me up on the Machine Radio Show Facebook. I do have an X, a Twitter account. I don't use it all that often, but you can add me on there and we can have a conversation there because I'm really curious about your coin, and it's easier to share other things with you. And if you can get a hold of me on one of those, I can give you other ways to get a hold of me. I'm just not going to put them on here, in public. Canadian Prairie harvest is good, but not great quality due to heat wave of the last 4 weeks. Lots of grain, but a lot is number 2 or worse quality, which means it goes to feed. Yeah, I get that. Understood. Yeah, Ian, this is the kind of, I want to get back into doing this more. I know I say it on the show constantly, but this is what I want to do. Okay, I want to do more of this. The problem is I am not our great leader, and I'm not good at writing things. I'm just good at talking. So it's hard for me to put a structured, really good structured video together. I usually speak from the heart, which is good, but it makes for not being able to make too many documentaries very easily. So I need to learn a little bit more about that and get myself to break out of that mold. But I will see you guys later. Like I said, restart this and enjoy. I hope it was entertaining. I know it was only 2 items, but it's great. You better not be sending me one of the meatballs either. I'm going to be very upset, Matt. I'll send you some Surströmer, whatever it's called. Hey, perfect, Matt. But yeah, definitely reach out to me. Like I said, the Machine Radio Show Facebook, Lost Battlefields Discord, stuff like that. I mean, I wish I don't want to share my information on public, or I would to get it to you, so that way you can have a contact with me. Sherman has my contact info, actually. But I will see you guys later. I am going to get out of here so you can rewind this and get started. So I'm out here. Till next time, guys.